Hello everyone, welcome back to The Homegrown Artist, or welcome to The Homegrown Artist. If you are new here, my name is Michaela, and today I'm going to be sharing with you what herbs I will be growing in 2024, as well as how we used the herbs that we grew last year, as well as the ones that we foraged. If you are new to herbalism and you are looking for a way to get started, some tips, some ideas, some book recommendations maybe, and how I am currently approaching this, I would highly recommend watching the video I posted over the summer telling you everything about how I am going into herbalism now, but I have added another thing to that list. I am taking the Home Apothecary course put out by Jill Reagan from Whispering Willow Farm and Kaylee Richardson from the Honeystead. So far, it has been a fantastic course. It's been very in-depth but approachable, and right now I am studying the different systems of the body, digestive, nervous system, all of the things that are involved in making our bodies function the way that they do, and how we can use herbs to support that. So if you can, I would recommend going to check that out and just taking a look. It's been wonderful so far, and I can't wait to learn more through that, but let's get down to business. These are the herbs that I am right now planning on growing in 2024. Also, please do your research before you consume anything. Look it up, know your limits. I just feel like I have to say that because this is just me speaking from my experience and the stuff that I've learned about. So make sure that you are doing due diligence and researching anything, especially if you're using herbs medicinally, then make sure that you know your limits and know how to be careful. So first on our list is basil. Now, last year we grew a couple of different kinds of basil. We grew cinnamon basil, purple basil. We tried to grow Tulsi holy basil, but it was not super successful. Part of it was user error. And we also grew Genovese and sweet basil, so a lot of basil, but we didn't know specifically what kinds we would like, so we tried a lot of them. And throughout the season, we harvested, we used the fresh basil, and we dried some of it. So we have this, and then we have purple basil, and then we have our big jar of basil. I think we have a little bit more of this stored elsewhere, but this is our regular basil. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop everything. Kind of narrowed it down to not necessarily our absolute favorites, but narrowed it down to the ones that we think are just necessary and we really do enjoy. And that is holy basil or Tulsi, and Genovese and sweet basil. Those, I think, were the three that we kind of use the most. Basil is really, really good in a tea, taste-wise. We use it in the summer to make an iced tea, and it's incredibly refreshing. It's really, really good, and it's also good for reducing stress. And I think it is one of the staple herbs to have because it just has a lot of benefits as well as a lot of uses. Next on the list is thyme. We're running out of thyme, literally. We have little to no time left. This is all we have of what we grew this year. But we ordered some bulk thyme to tide us over from Azure Standard, which we get a lot of supplementary herbs and spices that we don't grow here. My next and most loveliest and favoritist herb is chamomile. For the past couple of years, we've grown the German chamomile, and chamomile will reseed itself. So as the plant is kind of phasing out, things are falling off, the seeds will grow from where they fall off. So we have a collection of that, and this is kind of what's left of our chamomile so far. We go through it very quickly because we drink a lot of chamomile tea. Personally, for me, it is very relaxing and it helps me manage my stress levels, as well as being really good for digestion. So that is a very, very important and well-loved herb on our homestead. After that is lavender. So last year we grew lavender, but we weren't sure what kind to grow for the drinking kind. And what we bought, the label, it said true lavender, parentheses, English lavender, and it was not as advertised. What we received, even though we bought something that said English lavender, was not English lavender, and it was not really the best for consumption. It was better harvested for the essential oils out of it and to be used topically. So I'm gonna try to grow the right one this year and find the right one to grow to have in tea, because lavender tea is very calming, it's very soothing, and lavender chamomile tea is one of my favorite blends. It is something that I fall back to when I'm super, super stressed. So lavender is a must. I'm gonna try to grow the right lavender that tastes nice this year. And lemon balm. So lemon balm is one that has been growing in our front little garden area for quite a few years, but it is one that up until my mother and I started digging a little deeper into using plants as medicine and to heal the body, we didn't really know what it was. She didn't know what it was, and so for many years it would continue to grow and come back each year, and she would continue to pull it out of the garden and try to kill it. Hopefully now that we know what it actually is, it will still come back, unless it's one of those things where now that we need it, it doesn't come back. Lemon balm is good in teas for bloating and indigestion, and it also is a stress reliever. In case you haven't noticed, a lot of the herbs that are on my list are excellent stress relievers, because I am a person that tends to have very high stress levels throughout the year, so I try to have as many things in my tool bag as possible to maintain a healthy level of stress. And these herbs are a great way for me to do that, and maybe you, if you do your research and look into it. Next on the growing list is mint. So my main mints are two kinds. I want to grow peppermint and then also chocolate mint. Years and years ago, we actually grew chocolate mint. I don't remember it super well because I wasn't really paying attention, but I want to try growing that again. And then peppermint is just one of my all-time favorites. It's really good for soothing nerves. It's also good for digestion. It's very soothing in teas. It also can be used topically depending on how you prepare it. It is a must-have for me. I think we grew echinacea for the first time this past year, and it's one that we want to grow again because it's really good for your immune system. We did a tincture with ours that my mom drained and bottled up a little while ago. That is something new that we're trying this year. We've never done that before. We normally have it in teas, but I'm very excited to try it in that. And then after that we have calendula. We grew calendula last year, but it was planted a little later than it should have been, and it still grew, but we didn't get as much from it as we could have. So we have a little bit of it stored up, but not nearly enough to use consistently. But calendula is really good in salves and in infused oils. It's something that is anti-inflammatory, and you can use it topically. That's how we're going to use what we grew last year and what we hope to grow this year. So after that, one that I have never grown before that is on my list is marshmallow. Now, not only does it sound absolutely fantastic, I've never grown this before. This is something new in my vocabulary and mental apothecary. When you think of marshmallow, when you hear that word, you think of the fluffy, gelatinous sugar. Marshmallow is really well known for its kind of soothing effect on the respiratory system, also the digestive system. From what I understand, some of the more common uses of it are in teas and then in cold infusions. So I'm looking forward to growing that and to getting to play around and experiment with that and all of the different ways it can be prepared. But there are a couple that I'm not going to grow myself. For my birthday, I got a gift card to Mountain Rose Herbs, so I have a few on my list to try from there and just get, you know, a small enough portion to test out, see if it's something that I would want to grow in the future. And on that list is ashwagandha. I have heard a lot about that and have done a lot of reading about that. I know it's really good for helping your body mitigate its stress response and just overall health, but I want to do a little bit more research on the growing of that and also the uses, but I think that may be one that I invest in for Mountain Rose Herbs. Also, we have elderberry and elderflower that grow naturally on our land, so we harvest those each year. We have a good bit of elderflower, and then we have some frozen elderberries that we use to make syrup. There are a couple of herbs that we forage for that grow naturally around this area, specifically in the pastures and just in our backyard, and that is mullein, goldenrod, yarrow, and wild lettuce. We have a lot of goldenrod that grows in our pasture that we harvest and then hang up to dry, and then we use it in teas. We use it in a lot of different things. It's very, very good for managing allergies. That's one of the things that I go to when my allergies kind of kick up. So that is one that we forage for. And last but certainly not least is our mullein. Hello. Last but certainly not least is our mullein. So with our mullein, we harvested it and then dried it, have it in here for teas, but we also did a tincture with it, and then we have a Euro tincture as well because we found some on our property growing naturally, so we harvested that. And then we have our wild lettuce tincture. I made a full video of the harvesting and then the tincturing of wild lettuce, and finally a couple days ago my mom drained that up and put it in these cute little bottles with our label maker. If you'll notice, everything is labeled. We have a label maker and it is one of my favorite things we own. So we tinctured that up. That's our wild lettuce, which is good for pain relief. You want to be careful not using too much of it, but it doesn't have any addictive properties. And yes,
I need Teddy's
oh,
bowl.
food bowl for Tedwin. Oh, I didn't turn my microphone back on. Oh, that's sad. It's fine. Well, okay. Good job, Michaela. 10 out of 10 YouTubing. I have just now realized that I had turned my microphone off while I was filming this and just now turned it back on. So, other than that, right now, that is what I'm planning on growing. The list may grow in the next week or so. As I continue to go through my course, the list may grow in the week or so, but I feel like this is a pretty substantial list, and I know of some good places to get herbs that I don't grow. Mountain Rose Herbs is a really good one, and if there are any others I can think of, I will link them below. But as of right now, I am excited to finish that herbalism course. It has been so fascinating to go through and learn how all of these different plants that grow naturally around us and that we can grow in our backyard can be so beneficial for our bodies and for our health. So I hope that this has given you some ideas and given you some encouragement or just some brainstorming for any herbs that you want to grow. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!